Ngayong araw sa PTV Sports Chat, dinalaw namin si former PBA import at kasalukuyang Meralco Bulls head coach na si Norman Black. Binalikan ni Norman Black ang kanyang glory years bilang isang mahusay na manlalaro at championship coach sa isang eksklusibong interview. Panoorin natin ito.
Welcome to another episode of PTV Sports Chats. For today, we have a very, very special guest, someone I've looked up to since I was a kid. Please welcome Coach Norman Black.
Hi. Since you were a kid, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
No, I followed your career a lot. And I really did my research because I'm going to make it very memorable for you, Coach, today.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, Coach, well, I'm not that... I knew you came from the Detroit Pistons, the NBA, and then you landed here in the Philippines. Could you run us a little bit how that happened?
Well, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, in the United States. Went to high school there. Went to Philadelphia for college at St. Joseph's University. When I graduated from St. Joseph, I had an opportunity to try out with the Detroit Pistons and played with them for a short time in 1980-81. In the summer of '81, I was able to be with them in the LA Summer League, because just like now they have a league in Vegas, before they had a league in Los Angeles, the NBA did, and I was there and I played the entire summer there. I was with the Detroit Pistons for about a month, and right after we finished our last game, I was approached by Coach Jamie Mariano, who was then the coach of the Presto team, and he asked me if I wanted to come play in the Philippines. I knew nothing about the Philippines, exactly zero, so I initially told him I would think about it, but I wasn't really inclined. Plus, I had an invitation to go back to camp in Detroit. But when I went home, I always tell this story. I got my encyclopedia out, and I started reading up on the Philippines, and I found out everybody speaks English here, for the most part, and there were, at that time, bases, Air Force Base and the Navy base here, American Navy base and American Air Force Base. So I called him back. I called Jamie Mariano back and told him, okay, I'd be interested in going over. And the main reason I did that is because Detroit was not promising me any guaranteed money, and the Philippines wasn't promising me guaranteed money. So when I called him back and told him I was interested, he said he had gotten another player by the name of Lou Massey, who ended up being a great player here in the Philippines. So I was out of luck after that. And I guess about 2 weeks later, I got a call from Frank Hahn, who is the manager of the Filson Teflon team, and he invited me to come over and play for Teflon, and that's how I got to the Philippines. That was my first trip over.
So just curious, during that time when you were with the Detroit Pistons, who were the names you were playing with? Because to recall.
If you can remember. Well, the guy I stayed with, I actually stayed in his house for a while because I didn't have a place to stay, was Kent Benson, Terry Tyler, Greg Kelsler was one of their stars at that time. It was actually the following year where the stars started to come in. The following year, which was that summer, would have been Isaiah Thomas, Kelly Tripucka. Those guys ended up being great players for Detroit.
So that made it hard? Did that make it hard for you to...
Well, Kelly Tripucka played the same position that I did.
All right.
Of course, Isaiah Thomas was also a guard. I would have had to come into camp with no guaranteed contract, and I would have had to probably beat out either John Long or Kelly Tripucka for a job, which those guys have guaranteed money already. So normally teams are always looking to keep guys who they already owe money. They don't want to pay somebody who they owe and then bring in somebody new and pay them again. Plus, those two guys were very, very good players, so they would have been hard to beat out.
Okay, well, the NBA's loss is the PBA's, the Philippines game.
In a way, yes. In a way, yes.
But do you still remember that first game you had with Teflon?
Oh, no question. It was very memorable because I fouled out.
Okay.
It was against the Tanwai Rum Makers, against Russell Murray, who ended up being the best import that conference. And I had about 35 points and 16 rebounds with about 5 minutes to go in the game. And I fouled out of the game. And that made all the difference in the game. I think we were up by 1 or 2 points and ended up losing the game. So that taught me a lesson. Whatever you do here in the Philippines as an import, never foul out of the game, because the other import will definitely take advantage of it.
Okay, Coach, I'm going to show you some pictures. Well, I'm not going to show them now, but I'm going to show them later. I just wanted you to say something about this picture if what you remember. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay, this is the first one.
Oh man, you showed me a picture where I probably got blocked. But I have good form though for a hook shot. But it looks like Andy Fields is about ready to block my shot on this one. This was against Toyota. This was probably in a championship game, I'm sure. And you know, Andy Fields is one of the best shot blockers I've ever played against. He's about 6'9" and he's long. And he's a great shot blocker. That's what he was. So, yeah, you're showing me something where I probably got blocked on this play. I look good, but I probably got blocked.
Okay, Coach.
So I like how high I am off the floor, though. Ooh.
All right, Coach. This one, I'm sure you like that.
Oh my gosh, Michael Hackett. What a load. And I say that in a good way. He was about 260, but he was my height, 6'5", and he was a scoring machine, a rebounding machine. We battled for probably the scoring title and the rebounding title every year. I think he had 45 rebounds in one game and 101 points or something in one game. So he was very prolific, and he was the type of guy that I always had to stay low on every single play defensively. I could not stand straight up and down. That's how strong he was. I always had to bend my knees and stay low so I could get a balance so he wouldn't push me around.
Okay, Coach. This actually surprised me because I never thought I'd see you playing in that uniform.
Yeah, this is my one and only year with Alaska. This was their first year in the league, 1986. This is before I broke my hand, because I actually broke my hand in this tournament. And I think, is that Michael Young, I believe? Anybody remembers Michael Young was one of the best imports ever to play in the PBA. Left-handed, played with the University of Houston with Akeem Olajuwon and some of the other great players that played there, and Clyde Drexler, and one of the best players ever that I ever played against, Michael Young. Yes.
Coach, your final words, so you want to say anything to the viewers or fans?
Yeah, it's nice to go back and down memory lane and remember some of the things you've done in the past. That was the days of a lot of success, and I wish I could relive that right now with the Morocco team, to be quite honest with you. But those were great memories over the years, starting when I was just a player, and then player coach, and then eventually a coach. And there's nothing there about Ateneo, but at the same time, that's also a great time for me because we won a lot of championships there. And I look back on it, I arrived in the Philippines in 1981. It's now 2023. So I've been here 42 years already.
Yep.
And wow, what an experience. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to the Filipino people for actually accommodating me all these years.
So thank you for joining us here on PBA Sports Chat, and I hope you had enjoyed our time with Coach Norman, because I'm sure I did. Thank you, everybody.